Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at the first chapter of Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Oh, yeah, I love that book.
It's really fascinating how he talks about the power of purpose behind success.
Right.
Not just about what you do or how you do it, but why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually thinking about this recently because I was reading an article about a company that totally failed, even though they had this amazing product.
Oh, wow.
And it just got me thinking, maybe they were missing their why.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
So get ready to challenge some assumptions because we're about to explore some seriously thought-provoking ideas from the book.
Absolutely. And I think it really flips the script on how we traditionally think about success.
Right.
We often get caught up in the what and the how, the
Mhm.
tangible aspects. But Sinek argues that the real driving force is the why.
The why.
Yeah, the underlying purpose that fuels our actions.
Right. And it's so easy to fall into that trap.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we see it all the time. Take the car industry. Back in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
American car companies were struggling to compete with Japanese rivals.
Ah. And
Like,
everyone was trying to figure out, what was Japan's secret to success?
Mhm.
Was it their technology? Was it their manufacturing processes?
Yeah, the common assumption was that Japanese companies had cracked the code on production efficiency,
Sure.
or cost-cutting measures like that.
Interesting.
American engineers even visited Japanese factories,
Oh, wow.
expecting to find some revolutionary technology or
Hmm.
some secret formula.
But that wasn't the case at all.
No, not at all.
Really?
They found that Japanese factories were using pretty similar tools and techniques.
Wow.
What really set them apart was their why.
So they had a different purpose.
Yeah, they had this deep-rooted philosophy of Kaizen,
Oh, Jason.
which is continuous improvement,
Right.
striving for excellence in every aspect of their work.
Hmm.
They weren't just building cars.
They were dedicated to building the best cars, constantly innovating and pushing the boundaries.
I see.
And this deep-rooted purpose, it permeated their entire culture and propelled their success.
So it wasn't about the nuts and bolts of car manufacturing. It was about the driving force behind it.
Exactly.
The belief.
The belief.
It's amazing how a powerful why can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And to illustrate this further, Sinek introduces his golden circle model.
Okay.
It's such a simple but effective visual representation of how companies communicate and connect with their audience.
The golden circle. Okay, I'm intrigued. Break this down for us.
Okay, so picture 3 concentric circles.
All right.
What, how, and why.
Okay.
The outermost circle, what, represents the products or services a company offers.
Got it.
The middle circle, how, encompasses their processes and strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And the innermost, most crucial circle is the why.
Oh,
The purpose, the belief, the reason for being.
So how does this model explain why some companies resonate more deeply with their customers than others?
Well, most companies communicate from the outside in,
Okay.
starting with what they offer,
Uh-huh.
then how they do it, and maybe if you're lucky, they'll touch upon their why at the very end.
Yeah, as an afterthought almost.
Right, exactly. Think about a typical advertisement we make the most powerful SUVs with cutting-edge safety features. Buy one today.
Right. It's all features and benefits.
Exactly. It's all about the features and benefits.
But it lacks that emotional connection.
Yeah, they're just listing facts and figures, not telling a story or inviting you to be a part of something bigger.
Exactly.
Now, compare that to a company like Apple,
Okay.
which Sinek highlights as a prime example of starting with why. They might say something like, we believe in challenging the status quo and empowering individuals through technology.
Right.
Then they talk about how they achieve this through beautifully designed, user-friendly products. And finally, they present their latest iPhone or whatever it is.
They're selling a belief system.
Exactly. They tap into emotions and aspirations, making people feel like they're part of a movement, a community.
So they're not just selling a phone, they're selling an idea.
Exactly. An idea, an experience.
It's no wonder they have such a loyal following.
Right. And that's how they can charge a premium for their products.
Yeah.
People aren't just paying for the features.
Right.
They're buying into an idea, an experience that goes beyond the product itself.
That's fascinating. But what's going on in our brains when we connect with a company's why?
Yeah.
It can't just be clever marketing.
Well, there's actually a biological basis for this connection.
Real?
When we hear a message that resonates with our why,
Yeah.
it triggers our limbic system, the part of our brain responsible for emotions and decision-making.
So it's like hitting an emotional chord
Exactly.
that bypasses logic and speaks directly to our core beliefs and values.
Precisely, and that's why why-driven messages are so compelling. Okay.
They tap into our feelings, our aspirations, our sense of belonging.
Right.
They don't just convince us, they inspire us.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
This explains why some brands and leaders have like such a magnetic pull on us.
right.
They're not just selling a product or service.
Yeah.
They're offering a sense of purpose, a vision we can believe in.
Think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't just outline policy changes he wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
He painted a vivid picture of a future where equality and justice prevailed.
Right.
He tapped into a profound why that resonated with millions and ignited a movement.
And his words weren't just persuasive. They were deeply moving.
Exactly.
He gave people a vision they could rally behind, a why worth fighting for.
And that's the power of starting with why. It's about authenticity,
Uh-huh.
about connecting with people on a human level and inspiring them to action.
Yeah.
It's about building something bigger than yourself.
Wow. I'm already seeing how powerful this concept is.
Yeah.
But how do we apply this to our own lives? Right.
How do we discover our own why
Yeah.
and use it to drive our actions?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Sinek encourages us to look inward, to reflect on our values, our passions, the things that truly light us up.
Okay.
He challenges us to ask ourselves why we do the things we do, both big and small.
It's like holding up a mirror to ourselves
Yeah,
and asking, what truly motivates me? What am I passionate about?
exactly.
That kind of self-reflection can be daunting, but ultimately empowering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about peeling back the layers and getting to the heart of what drives us. Sinek argues that our why is often rooted in our experiences,
Okay.
the moments that have shaped who we are and what we believe in.
So it's not just about abstract ideas. It's about connecting our why to our personal narrative.
Exactly. It's about understanding the why behind our choices, our behaviors, even our reactions to the world around us.
Wow.
Sinek even suggests that our why is often tied to like our earliest memories, the moments that imprinted certain values or beliefs upon us.
That's fascinating. So are you saying our why is almost like a compass guiding us, even if we're not consciously aware of it?
It can be, think about it, when we make decisions that are aligned with our why, we feel a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose.
Right.
But when we stray from our core values, we might experience feelings of unease or even dissonance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how can we tap into this deeper understanding of ourselves?
Right.
Does Sinek offer any practical advice for like uncovering our why?
He suggests a few exercises like reflecting on pivotal moments in our lives
Okay.
or identifying the things that bring us the most joy and satisfaction. It's a process of self-discovery and exploration.
It sounds like a journey of self-reflection.
Yeah.
Like peeling back the layers of an onion to get to the core.
Right.
But I imagine it can be challenging to do this on our own right.
It can be. It often helps to have someone to bounce ideas off of,
Yeah.
someone who can ask thought-provoking questions and challenge our assumptions. Sinek even recommends having conversations with close friends or family members to gain insights into our why.
That's a great idea. Sometimes we need an outside perspective to help us see things more clearly.
For sure.
Now, you mentioned that when we act in alignment with our why, we feel a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
How does this translate to success?
Mm-hmm.
Does Sinek provide any examples of how a strong why can lead to like tangible results?
Absolutely. He highlights several examples, not just companies like Apple, but individuals who have achieved remarkable things by staying true to their purpose.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Tell us about those individuals who found success by following their why.
Okay, one example that comes to mind is Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
From her early days in broadcasting to building a media empire, she has consistently championed stories of personal growth and empowerment. Her why, to inspire and uplift others, has been the driving force behind her success.
It's incredible how she's used her platform to amplify voices and share stories that resonate with millions of people. She's not just an entertainer. She's a force for positive change.
And that's the power of a clearly defined why.
Yeah.
It transcends industries and professions.
Uh-huh.
It's about making a meaningful impact on the world, whether it's through entertainment business or even activism.
Speaking of activism, I'm curious about how this concept applies to movements for social change. Can you give us an example of a movement that was fueled by a powerful why?
Sure. The civil rights movement is a perfect example.
Okay.
Led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., this movement was driven by a profound belief in equality and justice for all.
Right.
The why, to end segregation and discrimination resonated with millions and sparked a wave of protests, sit-ins, and marches.
It's amazing how a shared why can unite people from all walks of life and create a movement that changes the course of history.
Exactly, and it's not just about grand historical movements.
Sure.
A strong why can fuel any endeavor from launching a small business to pursuing a creative passion.
So it's about finding that inner spark, that driving force that gives us the energy and resilience to overcome challenges and achieve our goals.
It's about tapping into a wellspring of motivation that comes from within.
Yeah.
A sense of purpose that fuels our actions and inspires us to make a difference.
This is all so inspiring, but I'm curious, does Sinek address any potential downsides to focusing so heavily on the why? Are there any pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah.
It seems like focusing on the why is such a powerful tool for inspiration and motivation. But I wonder if there are any downsides. Could there be a risk of manipulation?
Oh, yeah.
If someone with a less than noble why uses these principles?
That's a great question. And yes, Sinek does address the potential for manipulation.
Okay.
He emphasizes that authenticity is key. If a company or individual is not genuinely driven by their stated why,
Yeah.
people will eventually see through it.
So it's not just about having a why, it's about living it, breathing it, making it an integral part of everything you do.
Exactly. It's about aligning your actions with your beliefs. If there's a disconnect between what you say and what you do, people will sense it. Trust is built on consistency and authenticity.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how can we as individuals ensure that we're being authentic with our own why?
Right?
How do we avoid falling into the trap of simply adopting a why? That sounds good,
Yeah.
but doesn't truly resonate with us.
It goes back to that self-reflection we talked about earlier.
Okay.
It's about being honest with ourselves, about digging deep and uncovering the values and beliefs that truly matter to us.
Right.
It's not about finding a why that will impress others. It's about finding one that aligns with our core selves.
So it's about introspection, about being willing to ask ourselves tough questions
Yeah.
and confront our own motivations. It's not always easy,
Right.
but it's essential for living a life that feels authentic and meaningful.
Absolutely. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
Our why can evolve over time as we grow and learn. It's about being open to new experiences and perspectives while staying true to our core values.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
It's not about finding one perfect why and sticking with it forever.
Right.
It's about embracing the evolution of our purpose as
Yeah.
we navigate the complexities of life.
Exactly. It's about being adaptable, about recognizing that our why can be a guiding principle while also allowing for flexibility and growth.
This has been such an enlightened conversation. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on what drives success,
Yeah.
both for individuals and organizations. It's not just about the what or the how, but the why behind it all.
The why.
For our listeners out there, I encourage you to take some time to reflect on your own why.
Yeah.
What's the driving force behind your passions, your goals, your aspirations? What impact do you want to make on the world?
And don't be afraid to share your why with others. You never know who you might inspire.
Right.
Or what incredible things you might achieve when you lead with purpose and authenticity.
This deep dive into Simon Sinek's Start With Why has been truly thought-provoking.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that true success goes beyond achieving goals.
Yeah.
It's about living a life that feels meaningful and aligned with our core values.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep starting with why.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.